Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is about 4 o'clock, maybe 4:15 on, what day is it? It's Thursday, January 2nd. So we did not do Fireside Chat yesterday. We did it from the paddock. So Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2025. So we've done it. You've crossed it over. That year you didn't like is gone, and the year you couldn't wait to get here has started. We flipped the page, and now it says 2025 instead of 2024. So hopefully that solved a lot of your problems, and you got a good year in front of you. 2 days into it already. Or is it just Thursday? You know, don't really know. So, but anyway, nice to get back together here at Fireside Chat. We're definitely going to need the fire. It's about 38 degrees out here, and the sun's starting to really go down. So, kind of nice. We're 2 weeks past the winter solstice, so getting some light back. It's dark. I think we got about 15, 20 minutes of light back now in the evening. It's nice. I know some of you guys hate that dark. So every day now, I think we get like 4 or 5 more minutes of light a day. So we're on the right track. All right, guys, we're smoking the Perdomo 30th anniversary tonight. Perdomo 30th anniversary. It's a nice Churchill's length. Really nice. Did my flat cut as always. Really nice stick. Relatively budget friendly too, by the way. A couple of you guys have mentioned the other time that I keep my clicker in my hand, and it turns the phone on and off. And I admire you guys that can sit down and do a one-take wonder. I can't do that, and I freeze up. The camera turns on, and I turn into a blithering idiot. I lose the words I'm looking for. I forget the topic I was talking about. I'm a mess. So what I've chosen to do with these videos, and I started pretty much right at the beginning a year ago, is I'd rather make 20 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, sometimes they're 5 and 8 minutes long when I get rolling or ranting. But I make probably 15, 20 mini videos and then go into iMovie and just stick them all together and make sure the mic was working and make sure the segments flow the way I presented them to you, and then upload that video and then send it to YouTube. So yeah, I keep this little clicker thing. This is a Smarty Bob clicker, and I just start my videos on and off throughout the whole thing. Sometimes you see me pushing it 3, 4, 5 times because it can be a stubborn little bastard. And sometimes this far away, if I'm sitting right next to it, like in the paddock, it's much more 1-click, 2-click reliable. But over here, sometimes I have to get serious with it. So, but that's what I'm doing. You guys called it. There's my clicker, and that's the way I do every video. When I'm sitting at the desk in the paddock, or a creekside video, or a fireside video, or a fireside chat video, this is exactly how I do it. Bunch of little videos that I stick together. So that way when I'm having a dumb moment, I can actually turn it off, smarten up, and turn the camera back on. Or if I've lost the word I was looking for, I can stop, get rid of that crappy video segment, and get the word up and say what I want to say. So that's what I do on every one of these. So I told you yesterday that yesterday was my daughter's birthday. She turned 22. She got to choose. She chose Fogo, the Brazilian steakhouse. I'm not entirely sure. She wasn't overly influenced by her brother, but that was her choice. And we went downtown, and Sean brought his best friend, and our adopted daughter, Natalie, who's not our adopted daughter, came. There were 6 of us. We had a great dinner, a great time. The drive down to the city, it's only about a 30, 35-minute drive to get right downtown. And coming home, no traffic. Took us 30 minutes to get home. And then being downtown is nice when it's not too downtowny. So to go in essentially on a holiday was nice. And the difference between, I think, New Year's Eve at the steakhouse and New Year's Day at the steakhouse, literally night and day. It was only about half full. They did a great job for us. So, man, it was a great couple hours, that's for sure. So, Sean has departed. He is literally on the plane as I record this. In fact, Anne-Marie's still on her way back from Dulles. She wanted to... That's her one-on-one time with Sean sometimes, is going to get him at the airport. And then when she drops him off, she can have sort of an hour-long pity party on the way home without anybody present. So unless it's dark out or raining out or rush hour, I tend to let her do the airport stuff because she likes that a lot. So, but if it's raining at night or rush hour, she has me drive, and then all three of us do it. So I've talked about this stick several times, but I'll do it again. I pretty much talk about every stick I smoke every time I smoke it. So this is the Perdomo 30th anniversary. It's not the Champagne. I like the Champagne 10th anniversary better, but this is a nice stick. This is a nice, mild stick. This is a mild plus. Nice light wrapper, nice light smoke, not in your face. Nice. If you take it easy on the retrohale is smooth and nice. Really, no spice. It's not bold. So the taste, the smell, the experience is just a nice light cigar, and it's big, so it's a cool smoke. When you smoke something Churchill length, the first half of the cigar is actually quite cool, which is why I like these longer smokes. I like that cool draft. It's wrapped fairly lightly. It's not wrapped tightly, so the draw on it is really quite nice. I've not bought these in several months, so I don't know how much a box costs. I just don't have the memory anymore. But I do remember that it was fairly budget friendly. To the other, I've talked to you guys about my top 10 and my 4 honorable mentions here in Maryland, and this is one of the more budget friendly ones. Just a delightful, you want to have a cigar, but not get beat up by it. So we have a special guest again here at the fire pit. Problem is with a smart dog like Ranger, once you do something that's fun and special to him, he thinks it should be done every time. So I have a feeling that every time I start a fire out here, this dog is going to say, hey, it's time for you to come get me. Start throwing that stick. So you're going to see him running around. Here he comes. You're going to see him running around and me throwing a stick now and then, because I guess that's what we do from now on. So since it was Sean's last day here, I left Ranger here all day and put him in the basement with Sean while Sean worked. And so it was just Sasha and me in the paddock today. And boy, you could tell she was missing him. I think she really does view him as a big brother. She's much more secure and confident when she knows he's got her back. When it's all her, you can tell she feels it. So anyway, she's in the backyard with Finn and Echo, and they're playing like a bunch of fools. And Chance, the old dog, I let him in the house, and he's chilling on the couch right now. So there's your dog report for so far. But that's your dog report so far for the video. I've had a good day today, guys, man. With Sean here, I was here late. I was here till he woke up and came upstairs, and we got to talk. And then he made homemade biscuits, and Amory made red-eye gravy with ham drippings. And wow, it's totally not a good breakfast, but it was a fantastic breakfast. That's his required departure breakfast. He likes red-eye gravy, and then he'll make the biscuits. Mom makes the gravy and the leftover ham. What a great breakfast. So more like brunch. I gave him a big hug. Told him I was proud of him. Told him he'd grown up good, and I loved him. And I left about 11, and they left at 2 to go to the airport. So I didn't get over to the paddock till about 11 o'clock. So I had a good day. I had a good day in the market. I'm really honing my day trading skills. Got to a bunch of your comments. Had some quiet time with Sasha. Got home, finished up a few chores, and got to come out here. So, yeah, so far, great day, guys. So over the last couple of days, Sean and I've had that conversation about, money and finances that you always want to have with your kid, but you kind of have to wait till till the melon is ready, till the melon is ripe to the brain, will accept conversation. He actually came to me, and said, Dad, I really want you to help me. I need, his money's all sitting in, he's doing a pretty good job of saving. He's like, all my money's sitting in a stupid savings account making like 2%. And I really want you to put me like an investment plan together. Teach me how to invest my money, not trade, but teach me how to invest my money. I said, dude, I'll do that for you. And so I've been putting together, like, here are the risk categories, and here's the assets inside of each that I think we should go with. And then, your allocation of your money by percentages, whether you want to be conservative or middle of the road or aggressive. You don't change the categories, you change the percentage of your money allocated to each. So he was like, we had that initial conversation. He's like, well, God, really show me, so I've got to do some more assets. Like, hey, like in the guaranteed or fixed income, what are 3 or 4 choices he could have? In precious metal, what are his choices? In stocks or in equities, what are his choices? And in crypto, kind of, what are his choices? Those are the categories I've come up for him. So I've come up with the percent allocations based on your risk profile, but I've yet to finish up. I got to finish up the specific assets inside of each class. And but then he said, well, and all my friends are waiting on it too. And I said, whoa, wait, hold on a second, man. What did you say? He goes, yeah, I've got like 5-10 people have asked me if I would ask you about this and if they could have it too. So I was like, holy shit, I gotta, that's an extra pressure point on me. But I will get it done. There's a good chance I'll finish it over the weekend, and I'll share it with you guys. And remember, you'll die penniless, and everyone you love will leave you if you follow it. But and it's not financial advice, but I will, once I put that together, for that beginner savings person, for that person that's got $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 that they've got to get out of that 0.5% to 2% savings account and make, how do you make 10-20% on your money in today's world? I think we can put a portfolio together that, as long as you don't check it every day, I think it would be pretty happy. So I'm going to put my kid into it. So I'll share it with you guys as well, but it probably won't be for another few days. But that's an example of a great conversation, a great adult conversation that my son started with me. And that's my dream as a dad, to have that kind of relationship. So here in Maryland, we're about to head into a deep freeze. I told you we had that crazy storm on New Year's Eve. And then the last 2 days, we've had this crazy wind. Like sustained 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds. And it's blowing in this. It's stopped now, thank God. But it's kind of blowing in this cold front. And if you can believe the Weather Channel, the app shows us not getting above freezing again pretty much for the next 2 weeks. Lows of 15, 16 degrees and highs of 28 and 30, literally until I roll out of here. I leave 2 weeks from tomorrow to head west to take the big dog back to Sean and then roll on to Wyoming. And I'm pretty sure between now and then, we're going to stay frozen. I've got to show you a picture of the backyard of Wyoming. There's so much snow you can't see anything. It's just snow. All the chairs, the fire pit, the pond, it's all gone. It's just this one level of snow all the way as far as you can see, which means we're probably up near 4 feet of snow. I've got to remember to take a picture of the camera. If we have, like I told you, we have Ring cameras. I've got to take a picture, and I'm going to try and do it in this video. I'm going to try to remember to take a picture of it and put it here for you. Well, Emery just pulled in. She got back from the airport. Seems like she's doing okay. Now she and Lauren are going to head off to the horse farm for a few hours and do some riding. It's kind of nice. We have, for the first time in a while, I'm not in a rush here. So I'll try not to turn this into an hour-long video, by the way. But it's nice not to be in a rush. Like, I gotta get out of here. It's gonna rain. I gotta get out of here. We're going to dinner. I gotta get out of here. The family's waiting for me. I'm not gonna throw that little thing. Where's your big stick? Go get your stick. So I watched a great video last night. It was 10 things I wish I'd learned when I was younger. It's written by a younger guy. If you're a car guy at all, you might know about the Donut channel. Well, he was the main key presenter at Donut and left to start his own channel called Speed with 3 E's. And I'm going to try and stick the link to his video in the description and maybe pin it as the first comment. It's a great video. It's written by a younger guy, I think mainly for younger guys, but it's worth the time to watch it. And maybe you can share it with somebody who's struggling with, decisions in life. It's a great video. Easily understood, well done. Guy's a little bit funny, self-deprecating. I really like him. I loved him as a presenter on Donut, and I love that he started his own channel. Hey, buddy. So, this is a trade ranger. He brings me these little 2-ounce pieces of wood, wants me to throw them. And then gets mad at me because they don't go very far. Let me show you what I'm used to throwing for him. This is my ranger stick. All right, throw it on camera. You ready? Go. Now, he'll be back in 5 seconds and want me to do it again. So it's kind of nice having the big dog stay. Ranger, our dog. It's kind of nice. It's like an extension of Sean. I feel bad for Sean because now he's going to fly home, and tonight he'll go to bed completely alone without his dog, and he'll be without him for 2 weeks. That's awful lonely at times. I've been there. I've done the Wyoming trip with no dog, nothing. And I've done it with Ranger as my only companion, and I've done it with Sasha as my only companion, and the difference is unbelievable. So I feel bad for Sean. He's going to get home, decompress from the trip and being gone so much for the last 6 weeks being here, and have, no companion. That really blows. But for me, it's great because I get to keep this wonderful animal here, and, reminds me of Sean. So a future video will answer the question, but I had a great question come in the other day and said, as a guy who's only a couple years into his pipe journey, what the hell possessed you to put a cellar together as big as you see here in Maryland? And that's a really good question. So I'll do it, but I've got to do it from the cellar. I've got to be sitting in the paddock. I've got to be sitting in front of the cellar to do it right. So, but I thought it was a good question. Why did I do it? Why did I create that stupid thing? So that'll be a future video coming up in the next few days. I love when you guys ask questions that move the direction of this channel around a little bit. I really appreciate that. So we'll talk about cars and money for a minute. I had a great question come in and said, hey, I said on prior channel, I've got to replace the Ford Expedition, and I'm looking for another Ford Expedition. Because size-wise, it's perfect for moving 2 80-pound dogs and the load of stuff my family asks to move back and forth. But he said, hey, have you thought about Toyota? Have you thought about a 4Runner? And I've actually owned a 4Runner since 1988. I traded my 88 in on a 2010. I drove the 2010 as a daily driver into DC for 7 years. I still have the 2010. Oh my God, it's 15 years old now. It's in literally perfect condition. I maintain it in perfect condition, but I loan it out to people who get in trouble with their cars. And it's currently loaned to Natalie, who's my adopted daughter, who's not my adopted daughter. And she's had it at college for the last several years. She's in Eugene, Oregon, so the 4Runner, the 2010 4Runner is in Eugene, Oregon, but I need something bigger than a 4Runner. So the number 2 car on my list is this Toyota Sequoia. We had one. We drove it for 20 years. That was my wife's daily driver with 2 kids the whole time my kids grew up. In fact, my kids were tiny when we got it, and they named it Big Green because it was a big green car. And so we still call it Big Green to this day. It's kind of funny. So I've been a Toyota man most of my adult life. I've had the Solera, and that was my daily driver for a long time. And I've had a 4Runner literally since 1988. I think Toyota screwed the pooch a little bit, though. I think they've wrecked the Tacoma, and I think they wrecked the Tundra. They put these little tiny engines in it with a single or dual turbocharger in it, and they're blowing them up. And they put a really shitty 10-speed transmission in them, and they're blowing them up. And they moved the production from the United States to Mexico. And I read somewhere they saved 80% on their labor costs by doing that, but they're producing shitty vehicles now. And so I have a feeling that Toyota is going to go in the bucket along with everybody else, and I hate to see that. But all that to say, if I can't find a good used Expedition, a 2-3-year-old Expedition, I'll then turn my guy on to looking for a 2 or 3-year-old Sequoia. I'd buy the Sequoia outright, but I need to trade this Expedition in because I don't want to sell it. I do no vehicle transactions with a human being. I don't buy it from people, and I don't sell them to people. I'm mainly worried about selling them. I don't sell a vehicle to someone I know or to an individual, like bring a trailer or anything, because I don't want to hear about it. So I've got to go through a dealership, and I got a good friend now. I mean, Dusty's a really good friend, and he owns a Ford dealership. So whether it's a Ford product or a Toyota Sequoia, I'll probably go through Dusty. So I said there's going to be a car money part of the conversation. So where's the money part come in? The money part comes in for two parts. If you know you're going to have to buy a car in the next year, 2, 3 years, make your car payments to yourself starting now so that you have a cash bundle that you can go buy the vehicle you want for cash. Pay no interest. You set the price, and you just pay cash and walk out the door. Makes you a very powerful buyer. You don't have to wait till you need the car to start saving for it. So rather than making car payments to a bank or a dealership, make the car payments to yourself starting this year. If you're gonna sign up for a $700 a month car payment, just start saving $700 a month this year, and get 2, 3, 4 years into it and buy your car. Buy it for cash. That's debt of slavery, and you have the power to stay out of slavery. If you're going to sign up for a car payment anyway, just sign up for it today and save up to the point where you can pay cash. It's a great stick. So the other part where money comes into the car conversation is if you're retiring. The question I have for you, I don't need to know the answer, but you do, is if you bought your last car. I mean, as you reach retirement, you might be at the point where you're not going to buy any more cars. And I'm really close to that myself. If my Expedition wasn't going bad on me, I wouldn't buy another one. I'd just keep driving it. At 60, I think I'd get away with not buying any more cars. But if you're retiring and you think to yourself, the cars I have are both going to have to be replaced because your car and your wife's car, right? If you think you're going down to one car and your wife's going to do that, probably not a good solution. So if you're a 2-car family now, you probably need to remain a 2-car family. The question is, are you financially ready to make that purchase? Or do you need to work that into your retirement budget so you can make the payment to yourself before you have to go buy that car? I know a lot of retired guys kind of screw that one up. And they get 3 years in, 4 years in, they got to go make this like $50,000, $40,000 purchase, and they had no plan for it. And guess what? They're right back in debt. Or they can't get approved for the car loan because you're now on a much reduced program. Or even if you can't get approved, you go right back into slavery at the very end of your life. And you can avoid that now. And again, Dave, Central Cal Piper, I don't know. Maybe your cars are good enough. Because if you got to make a vehicle purchase, you want to get that done or get that plan in place before you actually retire. Because of the vehicle prices today, and I do think they'll come down over the next couple of years, but I don't think they're going to get cut in half. So it's still a monster purchase. And if you got to replace both vehicles in the next 10 years, you're talking close to $100,000. How are you going to do that on your retirement pay? Too many people forget about a future need as you plan for a very upcoming retirement. If your retirement's 2 years out, 5 years out, you have a little bit more time. Anyway, that's why cars, money, retirement all come together. Well, the sun is down and we're in the blue dark portion of our video. You've heard me say on several videos, this is my favorite time of day. Sunset, daylight, blue dark, dark dark, black dark. Absolutely love it. And I love it best out here at the fire pit. So I guess we can't make this video without at least addressing some of the things that have been going on around the world. And the Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas, the New Orleans Bourbon Street drive-through and then shootings, the hostage situation. Ranger, you're good. Go lay down, buddy. So what I think is happening is you're starting to see sleeper cells get woke up. And everyone's been looking for like a massive event, a national event, like, you know, attacking the Rose Bowl or killing everyone in the Super Bowl or something like that. And I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think it is far more effective to destroy the psyche of America, to destroy our belief in the safety of our way of life by doing what you're seeing now. These little events, little by little, and they don't even have to be every day. They'll be every few days. I think you're going to see something. I don't know if they're planning a big one, but so many sleeper cells are in the U.S. now because of the southern border, the porousness, the openness of the border. That, you know, it's not a bunch of women and children that came through like they want you to believe. There's a lot of military-age males that have come through. A lot of them have specific cell training, and I think they'll activate them a little bit at a time. And the problem, I don't even like talking about it because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. We've got to get the southern border closed. We need to get the illegals deported, get them out of the country. And you can't do that. I can't do that. I bring it up because someday you might be faced with a little event. What are you going to do if a guy drives into a parking lot that you're in and gets out with a weapon? That you can do something about. If someone goes into a local Walmart or a local school, a play, a musical concert, you know, and tries to do something, can you be the one who takes the action? Can you be the one who stops it? I can. I mean, I'm not. Look at the ranger just sitting here in the firelight. He really wants me to keep throwing, but he's going to lose the stick if I keep throwing it. And so that's why, you know, be aware globally, but think and prepare locally. These are good examples. I mean, somebody locally could have stopped that guy when he stepped out of the truck. He'd just run over a bunch of people and he got out with a weapon. Someone could have dropped him before he started taking shots. I don't know. I just bring that up because I think it's more than they're making it. In fact, they're making too big a deal about it, that these aren't related, that there's no coordination, there's nothing to worry about, there's no big picture here. And when I hear our government talking like that, that tells me they are very worried about it being connected and that there is a larger problem and that more is coming. And again, there's nothing we can do about it, big picture. There's everything we can do about it locally. So again, be aware globally, but be prepared locally. Be prepared to be the person, to be that guy who has to step forward and take action. That might mean you have to shoot somebody, drop them at the risk of being shot. I think that's something we have to be ready to face. 99.999% of us won't, but you might be the one. I don't know. Which Walmart will it be? Which school concert will it be? Which public venue will it be? You know, it could be one that we're at. Let's say you have to walk around in military gear and you know buy a level 4 vest and wear it all the time, but buy a weapon, get a concealed carry permit, become proficient with it, carry it at all times, be ready. We can go on and on and on about this, but I think that's really all I want to say about it. If you have questions or anything, let me know. It's kind of funny throwing a stick for ranger out there in this almost dark now. It reminds me when I was younger, we tried to squeeze in 18 holes of golf kind of after work. In the last 3 or 4 holes, we actually played what we called braille golf. You'd tee off, and then everyone would listen for where it went. It was pretty funny. And then you take your second shot, and everyone would listen. Pretty funny. I hadn't thought about that in a couple of decades, but that was something we did regularly because you had to go to work. So you had to go to work, and then you want to play golf. You played braille golf. Yeah, except for those June and July days where it stayed light till 9 o'clock at night. Anyway, I hadn't thought about that in years, and I decided to bring it up. Let's tap on the fensometer a little bit tonight. And since a lot of this community is very Christian oriented, very God oriented, very Christ oriented, and a number of you comment on how you appreciate how I end my fireside chats. And when I talk about the Bible, to even read to you from the Bible, how excited some of you get by that, and that's awesome. I just want to add that to be a Christian, in my mind, means be prepared to and take action. To be a true Christian man, I think you have to be action oriented. Are you ready to shoot a man doing bad? Now, that's not murder. And I've talked about, I've lost my faith in organized religion for a lot of reasons, but one of them is I don't know of any church that preaches action. I see a lot of kumbaya, a lot of hugs, a lot of singing, but I don't see anyone standing up in front of the church and saying, you must take action. Are you protecting the woman that needs protecting? Are you taking care of somebody who can't take care of themselves? Are you prepared to do so? Do you have an action plan for 2025? I think, God will move a mountain for you, but you better bring a shovel. It's one of my favorite sayings. If you're looking for God to help you in your life, are you shoveling? Are you doing the work? I don't need to know the answer. In fact, it's none of my damn business. The question that you should be asking yourself is am I a man of action? Not of intent, not of reading, not of prayer, not of church going, but are you also a man of action? Are you turning over the money tables? Are you killing the Goliaths? Are you even prepared to do those things? To me, that's important. To me, that's an important part of my faith. And, my request to my God is point my actions, point my activity, point my energy in the direction you wish me to point it. Not, oh, give me the energy to, or You know, give me the motivation to. That's our job. Our job is to take action, you know, and his job is to point us in the right direction so that we're doing his will with our action and our energy. So one of the things I've realized about myself is I sure do have opinions about things I have no qualification to have opinions on. That was one of them. If you're sitting on your couch reading the Bible, that's not enough in my opinion. If you go to church and drive home and don't do anything, that's not enough in my opinion. What are we doing? You know, who are we taking care of? Who are we protecting? You know, to me, that's important. I can hear it on your side of the camera. Hey, don't tell me how to be a good Christian. That's not really my point. My point is what I believe. You know, I believe I have to do more than sit at the fire. You know, I have to do the things like put my plan together. And that plan needs to be, how do I help others? How do I help my wife? How do I help my family? How do I help the people who've come to depend on me? How do I seek out those who need me? And then how do I follow through on that? I don't know, that might be offensive. I don't know. Some of you might believe that, hey, I believe in Christ and he's my savior and that is enough. You know, I don't believe that. My belief is that it must go much further. And it involves risk taking. You know, the Bible talks several times about the meek. The meek shall inherit the earth. I think we've interpreted that in our modern world to believe the guy who's pale and flimsy, sits on the couch, hugs his Bible, loves his church, is meek. And I don't believe that's what it is. I believe meek means being a dangerous man and choosing not to be dangerous until you need to be. I know that can be offensive, but that's my belief. That's what's inside my soul. It's what's inside my core. Are you a dangerous man who's choosing not to have dangerous behavior until needed? So I watch a fair amount of fringe YouTube channels. One of them is Bear Independent. And I had a conversation with one of my close friends today about, he said, well, I don't like Bear. He said one sentence that pissed me off, so I'm done with him. And I would just advise you that, you know, just like I talked the other night about Tony Robbins, just because somebody behaves offensively or says a bad word, we should not be ready to throw out all their teachings and learnings because of a bad sentence or a bad, you know, one bad thing. Because really, at least it's my thought that nobody can live that. Nobody can survive that test, me included. I mean, nobody can live the guy. You say one thing that offends me, you're fucking out of my life. I don't want to hear another word from you. I don't want to read another book from you. I don't want to hear another testimony from you. I don't want to hear your thoughts. I don't want to hear your preps. I'm done with you. That's very, very dangerous. Because those of us that make shit happen in the world typically say something wrong, offensive, sometimes on purpose, by the way. But something Bear said years ago that I hold in me because I believe it's true is I'm not a very nice man. I get that. But I'm a good man. And I think sometimes we mix the two up, like they're interchangeable. Like he is super nice guy. That means he's a good man. And I don't believe that to be true at all. And sometimes we mix up with that is not a very nice man. And therefore he is not a good man. And I disagree with that. I mean, because I hold it in my core. Again, this is me talking about my beliefs, but I believe you can be a good man and not be perceived as a nice guy. So I think we'll end the offensive meter part of the video with, you know, question yourself. Not don't answer, right? But question yourself. I mean, I don't answer on the video. I don't need to see your comments. I don't need to see. I'm not asking you to out yourself, but are you a nice guy, or are you a good man? And I think there's different. Are you a man of action? And if you say, yeah, I'm a man of action, then what actions are you taking? I mean, list them out, write them down. What are you doing that makes you a good man, that is external to you, not just for yourself, but for your family, your friends, those who rely on you, or the larger society? What are you doing that is making the world a better place? It doesn't need to be big. Sometimes it can be, I serve this person, I take care of this person, I do this thing. It can be singular. It just can't be nothing. God, this is some of the video. It's 42 minutes. You guys have paid the price of me not having any reason to leave. Apologize for that. So my cigar is coming to the end. I've got my roach clip, as some of you call it. We've gone dark. My drink is over. Rangers frustrated. I'm not throwing the stick for him in the dark. So it's time to wrap it up. So as always, I ask that God bless you. I ask that God bless your lives. I ask that He bless the lives of those around you. I ask Him to turn His ear to hear your prayers. I ask Him to make His face shine upon you. As always, I ask Him to bless your lives like He continues to bless mine. Guys, that's it. It's Thursday night. We're done. I hope you had a great New Year's. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. I hope you had a great New Year's Day. I hope 2025, by flipping the calendar, changes things for you. I hope you have a plan. If you want me to read your plan or help you develop one, let me know. I'll help you do it. I don't know all the answers, that's for sure. But I know how to make plans. I know how to ask questions. I know how to turn those answers to those questions into a way to go forward. Guys, that's it. Hope you had a great night. I'll say good night to everybody, and we'll talk again tomorrow, Friday the 3rd. We'll talk tomorrow. Bye, everybody.